multiple Olympics. He is a licensed wrestling official.
Yeah.
He can officiate at, I believe, even...
He refs basketball, too.
Yeah.
Teaches over at UOG.
Yeah,
right, get it,
What
okay.
else? What else we got? What else?
I'm starting to feel down about myself. Pumping up Sean. It's 7:40. Let's head into the Zoom room where the Emergency Rental Assistance Program is kind of officially kicked off yesterday, but everything's up and online. And so we wanted to bring DOA Deputy Bernie Guinness on to talk a little bit about the application process and eligibility. Good morning, Bernie.
Good morning.
Hi, Bernie.
Hi, Chris. I have here with me Miss Audrey Tapasnia from Guam Housing Corporation. She is the Planning and Development Administrator, but she's also assisting with the Guam Housing Corporation, and GURA is also in conjunction with DOA and putting this program together. So she's here with me.
All right.
Hi,
well, good
Audrey.
morning, Audrey. Let's just start, I guess, ladies, if we could just start with the eligibility. Who is eligible for this and how?
So basically, again, there's three criteria that meets the eligibility. So the first one is it qualifies for unemployment benefits, or the individual has to qualify for unemployment benefits or experience a reduction in household income related or indirectly related to COVID-19. Secondly, the tenant must demonstrate a risk of experiencing homelessness or housing instability. And then lastly, there is a household income that they have to meet. If the folks, we have the flyer out. I don't know if you guys have this copy, which I think I sent it to Chris. It will tell you there what the household size and the income level would be. So again, the tenant would have to meet all three criteria.
When you say qualifies for unemployment benefits, for example, PUA?
Correct.
Right,
Or,
okay.
Again, correct. Yeah. For locally here, it would be for PUA. If they have any kind of reduction and that's a start. If it's not even PUA, but if there's any kind of reduction in their household income and they can show that, then that would qualify them for that particular line item. So they have to meet all three.
So, but if you are receiving PUA, it doesn't mean that you're not eligible for this program, right?
No.
Okay.
Because again, they have to just make sure that the household size meets that total household income, that income level. So again, we have the application. I know I emailed it to Chris. And certainly there's going to be a point where they're going to have to indicate all of the individuals in their household. The back, you'll also ask for the types of incomes per individual in that household. Can range anything from wages, Social Security, any disability, any type of income that's coming into that household. So they have to reflect that for that particular month.
Bernie, does this include expenses or is this just income?
This is just straight income, the wages.
Is this for this particular program? Is this something you apply online for, or you can, or it's just you go online and you print out the form?
At this moment, because the governor wanted us to roll this out as soon as possible. So what we had a goal, and what we did is we prepared the actual form, and once that was completed, and it's PDF, so we put it online, we put it on the DOA website. And we also, so from there, the individual just has to print it out, print and then complete it. They can either scan it and submit it to us via email, or they can actually drop the hard copy to our office downstairs at the Treasurer of Guam. They can also pick up hard copies if they are not able to print it out. They can pick up the hard copies downstairs as well at Treasurer of Guam or at the respective mayor's office. Hopefully, again, we wanted to just put this out to the public. Because certainly there's an immediate need, but we are looking into trying to get the PDF file, something fillable, so that'll be a little bit more easy and accessible to others.
Are there any documents that need to be submitted with the application?
No, not at this time, because this is a tenant pre-application, so any kind of supporting documents will not be necessary. They just need to ensure that they complete the application as best as they can. And then what happens is that once it's submitted to us, give or take a good week or so, week and a half or so, we'll have we'll have our intake workers take a look at it, review it, and then verify whether or not they pre-qualify. And once they do so, then they'll be giving them a call to subsequently submit all of their supporting documents.
And for individuals that don't have access to a computer or printer, where can they go to pick this up?
Again, so they can pick it up at their mayor's office. We printed out, several thousand hard copies, and that those were delivered to the mayor's council for distribution to the individual villages. Or they can come down to the Treasurer of Guam. We have hard copies there, the flyers along with the actual application. Once it's completed, again, they will have to submit it downstairs at the treasurer's office. We recognize too that there might be an influx of people trying to drop it off, and ITC isn't the best. It's kind of gets congested. So we're looking at satellite spots as well, but certainly to ensure that there is security and safety, because a lot of the information, the information provided contains, income and whatnot. So we just want to make sure that the locations, the satellite locations that we identify will meet those standards.
Bernie, how was the eligibility determined?
This is provided through the Treasury, U.S. Treasury. So the income level was something that was given, again, directed by them, and it was set by HUD. So all the states and jurisdictions, territories, they all have their individual, or it's specified what income levels would be for the household. So for Guam, what we put here on our flyer is something that is specifically for Guam.
So that guidance came from the Treasury, but was there any wiggle room on the local end?
No, it's really specific to what we have as far as the eligibility.
Right on.
So we have to follow what is provided to us.
Right on.
When's the deadline to submit all of the applications, and then how soon after that can people who applied expect payments?
Yeah, so for this particular phase 1, it is from March 3rd to the 19th. Certainly we want to ensure that we process all of the applications that are submitted. And two, there is, with this particular program, there's also priorities that have, if individuals are meeting homelessness or housing instability, they may be bumped up, right, as priority. But certainly we want to capture everybody in this first phase. A good handful of individuals in this first phase, and then hopefully try to roll out the checks and the distributions of the checks for those who qualify within a couple of weeks. So hopefully maybe by the 1st of April, with that first week of April.
How many phases are there?
How many what?
Phases? You're talking about this is phase 1?
Yeah, this is phase 1. We won't quite know. We're probably anticipating maybe another 2 more phases. Simply determining whether or not how much monies we would have available. So like as far as, yesterday, as far as what was received, we received a combination from email and then also the hard copies that were dropped off to ITC. It's almost 100 applications were already submitted. So we're envisioning that it's gonna double and triple after something in the next few days.
Audrey, don't let Bernie hog the mic.
No. You can ask. What other questions did you want to ask?
I wanted to also add to that, Bernie, that based on some of the preliminary data that we were looking at and the funding that the grant, it is 33.6 million that was awarded to Guam, the government of Guam. We're looking at possibly assisting about 2,500 renters and landlords on Guam, and that will come up to about 18,000 per household. And that's keeping in mind that because with this grant, the max is 12 to 15 months of assistance per household. So, just to give you a ballpark of how the numbers look, that how many renters that we will be able to assist. Now, of course, the numbers can change because it really depends on a renter can apply for just utilities, utility arrears. Maybe they're okay with their rent, or maybe they've just been paying their utilities, but they haven't been able to keep up with their rent. But the grant is, the assistance available to each household is 12 to 18 months. And so, we really encourage everyone to submit your pre-application. And, the goal is to help as many tenants out there, and of course the landlords will, especially with the rent, will also benefit. Bernie was mentioning earlier that this is for the pre-application is specific to tenants. The grant does allow grantees to also have landlords apply. We are working on the landlord application. We hope to release that, their application and the process for landlords to apply, hopefully maybe in the next week or two. Yeah. And then more information will come out, and because the grant does call for either tenants and or landlords to apply for the funding. But of course, either way, both have to work closely together, whoever is applying for the funding. And that would be part of our also addressing any fraud or preventing fraud, because the grant does stipulate that we need to have those policies in place.
And again, the website to go get the application, doa.guam.gov, correct? And then what's the email address that when they fill out the application?
The email address is eer@guam.gov.
EER?
Yeah, emergency rental assistance.
Oh,
yeah. So ERA.
Okay.
ERA. ERA. So keep in mind too, I had to field some calls yesterday from landlords and also property management folks, and they were asking if they can apply on behalf of the tenant. But what we recommend is that they work in conjunction with the actual tenant. Sometimes some are elderly or individuals have disabilities, but just to work with them, let them know that the application is available, if they can assist them, helping them out completing it. And if they wanted to submit it on their behalf, to just ensure that there's some kind of release from the particular tenant. But for now, like Audrey was saying, we are going to be working as far as the landlord applications subsequently in the next week or so. But for now, we just want to make sure that the landlord does communicate with their tenants and let them know that complete it and assist with them. And then they can also, certainly they can try to submit it on their behalf if needed.
Bernie, so when people get approved for the assistance and they get the check, is it made out to the landlord or to the renter?
It is going to, yeah, and that was a question that was asked often. It will be made out to the landlords, but if it's going to be for the utilities, then it'll be for the utility agencies.
Okay.
GWA, GPA, and solid waste. So it won't go to the tenant.
Okay.
Well, thank you, ladies, for coming on.
Thank you.
So
Okay,
again,
we'll just encourage all the listeners out there to apply, and if they have any questions, certainly they can give us a call.
All right.
Thank you, Bernie. Thank you, Audrey.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll see you, ladies. There you go.
The website, we posted it in the comments for our online viewers, but if you are listening to us on the radio, the website to go download this application, it is www.doa.guam.gov. And if you do not have a computer, you can go to your village mayor's office to get the application.
Right. Let's go back into the Zoom room here and bring on our very own Nestor Lecanto from the KUAM news team. Good morning, Nestor.